Hey there, Legal Tea listeners. This is your host, Jenny Roselle. Welcome back for another episode of Legal Tea. Today's topic is a current trend, so something going on in the current times that is pertinent to my little estate and elder law world. Today's topic is on a thing called guardianship, and specifically, it's somewhat related to the Britney Spears' guardianship. Before I dive into what we're talking about today, the last time we talked about Britney Spears' guardianship was before the guardianship got terminated. So way back when, 20 plus episodes ago, I did an episode on Britney Spears' guardianship and kind of talked about how they got to where they got to, what a guardianship even is, where things stood, etc. Well, now, as many are aware, Britney Spears' guardianship has officially been extinguished. But I understand there's still some things happening, though. I just recently saw a headline stating that Jamie Spears was asking to see Britney's estate plan. And he made this request after the guardianship was terminated, meaning he was not even guardian anymore. So yeah, there's still some scuttlebutt going on for sure. Many people believe that the force behind the guardianship getting terminated was Britney's new attorney, Matthew Rosengart. Mr. Rosengart came guns a-blazing to help Britney, and I'm certain he continues to do so as she kind of navigates these final issues. So today's topic is about someone else that Matthew Rosengart has decided to step in and help. A gentleman by the name of Peter Max, who is, according to Peter's Wikipedia, a, quote, German-American artist known for using bright colors in his works. Works by Max are associated with the visual arts in culture of the 1960s, particularly psychedelic art and pop art, end quote. As I was researching for this episode, I actually looked up some of his work, and it's such cool stuff. You have to check it out. The colors are super bright, but I love bright stuff, so it's totally up my alley. According to an article in the New York Times in 2019, it was revealed that Peter had been suffering from advanced dementia, and that article stated that, quote, he is now often unaware of his identity and his surroundings, and that his deteriorated mental state has been exploited in a massive art fraud scheme dating back to at least 2015, end quote. And that breaks my heart to hear. I mean, such a talented man that gets taken advantage of just from a cognitive condition he didn't have any control over. According to his Wikipedia page, Peter has 2 adult children who are named Adam Max and Libra Max. Peter lives in New York City, and actually, according to an article in AMNY, a news source out of New York, Peter was actually a Holocaust survivor. So in 2016, Peter was placed under a guardianship proceeding, and according to that article in AMNY, he was placed under guardianship, quote, because of alleged mistreatment of his wife, Mary, who committed suicide in 2019 at the age of 52. End quote. So yeah, 2016 is when this whole guardianship over Peter actually started. Libra Max, Peter's daughter, explained that initially the first 2 guardians over Peter were fine because, quote, they didn't interfere with her dad's life, end quote. But then in 2019, Peter's court-appointed attorney, a lady by the name of Elizabeth Adenolfi, selected another attorney named Barbara Urbach Lissner as Peter's guardian of his, quote, person. In my research, it was not clear to me when Peter's guardian of his, quote, estate was appointed, but it was a gentleman by the name of Lawrence Flynn. And just a quick side note, a guardian of the person means Barbara makes decisions relating to him, Peter, as a person. So like healthcare decisions, where he lives, etc. While Lawrence, as guardian of Peter's estate, means he makes decisions relating to Peter's financial and legal affairs. It is alleged that among the various professionals serving in capacities like attorney, guardian, etc., that the services have cost Peter's financial estate around $16 million. And that is according to ABC Action News. Though, let me tell you, shots were fired because Peter's guardian of his estate, Lawrence Flynn, stated to Page 6, quote, "Peter is being very well cared for. I submit a detailed report every year to the court detailing the money that is spent on his care, on his taxes, and personal bills," end quote. According to Page 6, Peter's total estate is estimated to be around $65 million. So just FYI as we talk all these numbers. According to AMNY, Peter's daughter Libra argues that all three, the court-appointed attorney and both guardians, quote, worked together in the past and that his estate is being depleted under their guardianship in that they control all aspects of his life, end quote. Actually, and further shared in that AMNY article, Libra was speaking to a group of #FreePeterMax supporters. P.S. Remember #FreeBritney, so similar concept, similar movement. And she shared a few things that were kind of startling. First, she shared that she gets to see her dad 3 times a week for only 1 hour and under direct supervision. Second, she shared that she is unable to go into her childhood home, which is where Peter lives in, quote, complete isolation, end quote. Third, she shared that her dad has to, quote, ask for permission to call family and friends, which actually 4 of his friends have attested to in an affidavit that has been filed with the New York court. I actually posted in the source links for this episode a direct link to those sworn statements from his friends. And they're interesting for sure if you want to take a look. And lastly, she shared that they've gotten rid of her dad's rescue cats. And if you even take like 5 minutes to look up Peter Max, you'll discover he was an animal lover times like a million. In response to the claims by Libra and the other #FreePeterMax supporters, the law firm Phillips Neisser, where the court-appointed attorney for Peter is employed, issued the following statement saying, quote, "We are providing legal services to a client as ordered and approved by the New York Supreme Court. We serve this client as we do all of our clients in accordance with our professional and ethical responsibilities as attorneys. The claims made by Libra Max and her allies are false and defamatory to our firm and attorneys. We will address this at the appropriate time and in the appropriate forum," end quote. And there's always 2 sides to every story, right? Attorneys are held to some pretty high standards from a legal ethics standpoint. So there may be stuff that they know, but because they're tightly bound by confidentiality rules, they may never be able to share. So who knows? To add to this messy situation, it appears that there is even some disagreement and not a lot of love between Peter's 2 children, Libra and Adam. And according to Daily News, a newspaper in New York, Libra actually filed a petition against Adam in 2017. And I'm not really sure why or for what, but nonetheless, she filed something against her brother. And in 2019, Adam accused Libra of attempting a hostile takeover of their family's company. So here we are in 2021, and the latest news with this case, at least at the time of writing this episode, is that Matthew Rosengart, the attorney that helped free Britney Spears from her guardianship, has joined the fight to free Peter Max from his guardianship. According to an article on Page 6, Matthew Rosengart, quote, joined Peter Max's daughter Libra Max's legal team, that's a lot to say, let me try that again. Matthew Rosengart, quote, joined Peter Max's daughter, Libra Max's legal team in fighting to end the guardianship. In a statement, Rosengart shared, quote, I am honored to join the team's laudable efforts to seek justice for Peter Max. This typifies this type of guardianship that merits judicial attention and potential state and federal legislation, end quote. He further stated, quote, guardianships and governmental intervention should be an absolute last resort, and this case warrants a fresh look and implementation of less restrictive measures and the restoration of basic human rights. We will fight vigorously to obtain newfound freedoms for this American icon, end quote. All right, Matthew Rosengart, I see that mic drop. I see it. I'm fairly certain that I read somewhere there was a hearing that was supposed to occur actually on November 30th of 2021, but I can't find what happened or even if it happened. Since there really aren't any updates that I can find, at least at the time I'm writing this and recording this, that leads me to believe that the hearing probably didn't happen or maybe got continued, which it happens all the time in the legal system. Sometimes either party will file a motion for continuance. Heck, sometimes the court has to actually continue the hearing. So I do not believe that November 30th, 2021 hearing has yet occurred. I think it got continued. Interestingly, when I wrote Britney Spears' episode way back when, the guardianship right had not been terminated. And I feel like that episode sort of ended how this episode is going to end. That the hashtag Free Peter Max movement, it's gaining traction, right? The story is hitting headlines. Now Matthew Rosengart is in the mix. So maybe like the hashtag Free Britney movement, perhaps the hashtag Free Peter Max movement will end the same, maybe with the guardianship getting terminated. But I think there is one glaring difference between Britney Spears and Peter Max, and it's that of the person's cognitive impairment. Britney Spears, who I believe just turned 40 years old, she does not have dementia, for example, and it's possible that was the crux of Matthew Rosengart's argument in her case, that she was competent and able to make all of her own decisions and choices. Here, however, with Peter Max, he has advanced dementia, and I believe it's of the Alzheimer's type. So without a guardianship, I certainly hope there's some strong estate planning documents present, like a power of attorney or healthcare proxy, because I think it's clear he needs some help with decision making. I suppose what I'm saying is that it's possible that Peter's guardianship does not get terminated like Britney Spears' did. But maybe Libra's daughter or son, but remember, they don't get along, could serve as guardian. Or maybe someone else that Libra and Adam could agree on if one or both of them serving as guardian is not an option on the table. So yeah, crazy stuff. I wonder if we'll see Britney Spears put out some sort of comment or message relating to Peter. The situations are similar yet different, so maybe not. Alrighty, let's wrap up this episode. So next week's topic is on estate planning of the rich and the famous. And on that episode, we're going to talk about my girl, Whitney Houston. My ultimate jam is I Want to Dance with Somebody. And actually, when I got married, our band had asked us, the band that played at our wedding had asked us if we wanted them to specifically play any songs. And Whitney's I Want to Dance with Somebody was literally the only song I requested. And also shout out to my girl, Taylor. She knows who I'm talking about, Taylor, because she is my dance and karaoke partner for that song. So yeah, we're going to be talking about Whitney Houston and her estate plan next Tuesday, Legal Tea listeners. Until then, take care and be well.